U.S. Air Force just revealed a first look at its new fighter jet. Hello lovely YouTube family, welcome back to 10 Focus. In today's video, we're going to talk about U.S. Air Force revealing a first look at its new fighter jet. Before we start, I want you to hit that red subscribe button so that you never miss out on any of our videos. The U.S. Air Force has secretly designed, built, and flown at least one prototype of its enigmatic next-generation fighter jet, the service's top acquisition official confirmed to Defense News on September 14. The development is certain to shock the defense community, which last saw the first flight of an experimental fighter jet during the battle for the Joint Strike Fighter contract 20 years ago. With the Air Force's future fighter program still in its infancy, the rollout and successful first flight of a demonstrator was not expected for years. We've already built and flown a full-scale flight demonstrator in the real world, and we broke records in doing it, Will Roper told Defense News in an exclusive interview ahead of the Air Force Association's Air, Space, and Cyber Conference. We are ready to go and build the next-generation aircraft in a way that has never happened before. Almost every detail about the aircraft itself will remain a mystery due to the classification of the Next Generation Air Dominance Program, the Air Force's effort for fielding a family of connected air warfare systems that could include fighters, drones, and other networked platforms in space or the cyber realm. Roper declined to comment on how many prototype aircrafts have been flown or which defense contractors manufactured them. He wouldn't say when or where the first flight occurred, and he refused to divulge any aspect of the aircraft's design. Its mission, whether it was uncrewed or optionally crewed, whether it could fly its hypersonic speeds, or if it has stealth characteristics. Those attributes, he said, are beside the point. The importance, Roper said, is that just a year after the service completed an analysis of alternatives, the Air Force has proven it can use cutting-edge advanced manufacturing techniques to build and test a virtual version of its next fighter, and then move to constructing a full-scale prototype and flying it with mission systems on board. This is not just something that you can apply to things that are simple systems, like Boeing's T-7 Red Hawk trainer jet, the first Air Force aircraft to be built using the holy trinity of digital engineering, agile software development, and open architecture, Roper said. We're going after the most complicated systems that have ever been built and checked all the boxes with this digital technology. In fact, we have not just checked the boxes, we've demonstrated something that's truly magical. Now the Next Generation Air Dominance Program, or NGAD, sits at a decision point. Roper declined to say how quickly the Air Force could move its next-gen fighter into production, except to say pretty fast. But before the service decides to begin producing a new generation of fighters, it must determine how many aircraft it will commit to buy and when it wants to start purchasing them, all choices that could influence the fiscal 2022 budget. The program itself has the potential to radically shake up the defense industry. Should the Air Force move to buy NGAD in the near term, it will be adding a challenger to the F-35 and F-15X programs, potentially putting those programs at risk. And because the advanced manufacturing techniques that are critical to building NGAD were pioneered by the commercial sector, the program could open the door for new prime contractors for the aircraft to emerge, and perhaps give SpaceX founder Elon Musk a shot at designing an F-35 competitor. I have to imagine there will be a lot of engineers, maybe famous ones with well-known household names with billions of dollars to invest, that will decide starting the world's greatest aircraft company to build the world's greatest aircraft with the Air Force is exactly the kind of inspiring thing they want to do as a hobby or even a main gig, Roper said. The disclosure of flying a full-scale fighter prototype could be just what the Air Force needs to garner more financial support from Congress during a critical time where the service is facing budget constraints and needs to gain momentum, said Mackenzie Eglin, a defense budget analyst with the American Enterprise Institute. If you can quickly get to something and show progress through product, it just changes the whole dynamic for the Hill, he said. Roper has got so many headwinds, it seems this would be a likely avenue to show conceptual success for his ideas. A radical new acquisition. Flying a prototype of its future fighter was the easy part. Now the Air Force must choose whether to commit to a radical method of buying it. Over the last 50 years, the U.S. industrial base has dwindled from 10 manufacturers capable of building an advanced fighter to only 3 defense companies: Lockheed Martin, Boeing, and Northrop Grumman. The time it takes the Air Force to move a new fighter from research and development to full-rate production has stretched from a matter of years to multiple decades. The result is that every fighter program becomes existential for companies who fight to prove that they can meet technical requirements during the development and production phase at a lower cost than their competitors. The companies are finally able to turn a profit during the later years of the program, where they become locked in as sustainment providers, with the technical knowledge necessary for upgrading, repairing, and extending the life of their product, often with little congressional interest or scrutiny. That's all for today, folks. I hope you liked the video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so that you never miss any amazing videos from us.